If you've spent any time in parenting circles, you've probably heard somebody talk about the Toniebox 2 like it's a miracle cure for screen time. I understand why. We bought our first Toniebox during one of those seasons every parent knows. The kids had started using iPads, we'd decided that we were getting too much screen time, cut back, survived for a while, then hit a week where honestly, we needed the screens just to make it through the day. Then we'd feel guilty and swing back the other direction. We bought the Toniebox right in the middle of one of those cycles. We weren't looking for another toy, we were looking for an alternative. Fast forward a few years, we've now owned 3 Tonieboxes, including multiple Toniebox 2s, but let's start from the beginning. By the time the Toniebox 2 came out, we were already deep into the ecosystem. I'd already reviewed the original Toniebox and honestly wasn't sure whether the update mattered. Then I happened to be working in New York when Tonies launched the Toniebox 2 early at FAO Schwartz. And if you've seen that short, you know exactly what I'm talking about. I bought one there because I wanted to know whether the sequel actually mattered in a real house with real kids. A few months later, we bought another one for Christmas. After living for years with both versions, my take is simple. The USB-C charging is nice. The speaker feels slightly improved, and this light ring is actually a magical improvement. ToniePlay games are exclusive to the Toniebox 2, but I'll get into that more later. None of those things reinvent the product, but they do make this a worthwhile and necessary improvement. Here's the thing you don't realize about the Toniebox if all you're watching is influencer reviews. The Toniebox never became what I thought it would become. My boys are active. They're building forts, swimming, jumping on trampolines, and turning the entire house into an obstacle course. They were never the kids who sat quietly coloring while listening to stories. So we never experienced those tranquil moments you see on social media. But almost immediately, the Toniebox 2 found a home somewhere else. Bedtime. That's when I knew it was working for us. Instead of asking me to read for an hour, they could basically do it themselves. Pick a Tonie, put it on top, story starts. And that's really the genius of the Toniebox. There's almost no learning curve. My kids could use it long before they could read because everything is tied to physical objects instead of a menu. Simple enough that a toddler can understand it. Which brings me to River. Want to know if a 2-year-old can actually use a Toniebox 2? River is 2. He understands exactly how the Toniebox works. He just doesn't leave it alone long enough to hear the whole story. We'll put a Toniebox on and within minutes he's pulling it off to try another one, and then another, and then another. The fact that he understands the concept at all says a lot about the design. Having tried all the major competitors, the only one where the audio continues even after the object is removed is the StoryPod, which is now called Eddie. It's worth exploring if you think you might have that issue. The biggest surprise with the Toniebox 2 wasn't the hardware, it was the content. Cars was huge in our house, then Hot Wheels, then How to Train Your Dragon. Years later, we aren't even close to running out of things to discover. Probably the best Toniebox content isn't one of those branded characters. The feature I think parents overlook most is creative Tonies. While I was working in New York, I created a pirate adventure where my boys were the heroes. They found the treasure, they fought the sea monster, they saved the ship. We own plenty of licensed Tonies, but somehow the homemade pirate story became one of the most memorable things we've ever put on the platform. Another thing worth mentioning is that once content is downloaded, it works offline. That's been especially nice when we are away from home. Here's the part no sponsored Toniebox review talks about. Products like this don't just have age minimums, they have age maximums too. My oldest loved the Toniebox, but now he's 10. And one night I finally asked why he wasn't using it much anymore. His answer was simple. The figures feel like they're for little kids. That was it. That was the moment I realized he was aging out of the platform. Eventually, we bought him a Yoto player, and for him, it's been a much better fit. He still wants the same thing that the Toniebox 2 delivers. He just wanted a platform that felt like it was growing up with him. That's not a criticism of Tonies. It's just understanding who the product is built for. For me, the sweet spot is still roughly 3 to 7 years old. My 10-year-old has mostly moved on. My 8-year-old still uses it occasionally at bedtime, and my 2-year-old is standing right at the doorstep. The other reality parents should know about the Toniebox 2 is cost. The box is just the beginning. Once your kids start finding favorite characters, the collection can get expensive fast. The subscription helps, but it doesn't solve everything because kids tend to want very specific characters. And that's not the way their subscription works. It's more like choosing from a small selection each month. As for ToniePlay games, I haven't seen it fundamentally extend the age range in our house. I thought the older boys would love them, and I tried repeatedly to get them interested. It just never really stuck. There's one thing about the Toniebox 2 I still haven't decided whether I like or not. It gradually removed me from bedtime reading. At first, that felt like a win. The boys could do it themselves. But every now and then I find myself wondering whether that's entirely a good thing. Because some of my favorite memories as a dad happened with a book open in my lap and one of my boys leaning against my shoulder. I don't think the Toniebox replaces that, and I don't think it should. I think it works best alongside it. When I picture the Toniebox now, I don't picture the product itself. I picture cozy kids wrapped in blankets, listening to stories before their heavy eyelids close. And I picture walking quietly back into their room after they've fallen asleep to take the Tonie off the box before heading to bed myself. That's what I've realized after all these years with Tonies. The Toniebox was never really about eliminating screen time. It was about creating a different kind of time, a slower kind, a quieter kind, a simpler kind. If this review helped you avoid buying the wrong product for the wrong age, hitting the like button helps other parents find it too. And I genuinely love to hear where your family is in the journey. Are your kids just discovering Tonies? Are they right in the sweet spot? Or have they started moving on like some of mine have? Let me know in the comments. I read every one. And if you enjoy reviews based on years of real family life instead of 30 minutes out of a box, consider subscribing. That's what we do here.